The cleaner wasn't supposed to speak to the dragon. That rule existed for a reason etched into the very stones of the fortress. The dragon itself had never spoken to anyone, not in all the years it had been chained in the echoing dark. But in the first minute of this shift, everything was about to change. The human, a man of no consequence, knelt on the cold stone floor. His job was simple: scrub the ash and filth from the captive's scales. The little dragon watched him, its golden eyes wide and alert, its body tensed, coiled like a spring. It expected the Usula's sharp command, the sting of a whip, the cold hand of control. But this human was different. He didn't speak. He didn't issue commands. He just hummed a soft, tuneless melody. There was no fear in his touch, only the quiet focus of his work. Slowly, the dragon shifted, a tentative movement that rattled its heavy chains. The man didn't flinch. He just kept cleaning, his cloth gently wiping away layers of grime. Black ash fell away, revealing the gleam of scales underneath. Old, dried blood washed off, exposing the pale, puckered lines of burn scars. The sight of them made the man's humming falter for just a moment. Then, a sound. It wasn't a roar, or a growl, or any of the monstrous noises the guards expected. It was a broken, fragile Thinga voice that had never been used. Rusty and weak. A single word, small but real. Stop. The cleaner froze, not in fear, but in sheer, unadulterated surprise. He looked at the small dragon, really looked at it, and saw not a beast, but a being. He slowly rose to his feet, took a careful step back, and lowered his eyes, respecting the boundary that had just been drawn. And in that precise moment, the very walls of the fortress began to tremble. Hidden beyond the warded stone, the dragon's mother had been watching. Silent, seething. For years, she had watched guards strike her child. She had watched mages perform their cruel experiments. She had watched arrogant nobles laugh at its pain. And she had not interfered, because the code of their kind was ancient and absolute. She could not act unless asked. Now, her child had finally spoken. She saw the lowly human bow his head nod in submission, but in recognition, and she felt something unfamiliar stir within her. A feeling that wasn't pure rage or hatred. It was a calculated, focused control. This human, this cleaner, was from the lowest caste, unarmed and utterly replaceable. Yet, he had accomplished what armies and wizards could not. He had treated her child as if it were alive. The entire system of their captors depended on silence. Mute creatures were objects. Objects could be owned, broken, and discarded. But speech shattered the illusion of ownership. The young dragon spoke again, its voice stronger this time, clearer. Enough. With that one word, the enchanted chains cracked and fell apart. The glowing runes on the walls sputtered and died. Alarms shrieked through the fortress, a symphony of panicked noise. The mother moved. She didn't descend with fire and fury, not with the raw destruction she was capable of. She moved with precision. Guards collapsed into slumber. Mages found their spells unraveling into nothing. Nobles froze, paralyzed by a terror they couldn't comprehend. She landed in the chamber, her immense form filling the space, wings neatly folded, her ancient eyes fixed on the human. The man didn't run. He didn't beg for his life. He simply stood his ground, his hands open and empty at his sides. The small dragon, now free, scrambled over to him, pressing its body against his leg in a gesture that was both protective and defiant. In that instant, the mother understood everything. The human hadn't trained her child. He hadn't healed it, or even freed it. He had simply done one thing, the most important thing of all. He had listened. Empires can fall to force. Civilizations can burn under the weight of power. But this one, this cruel little kingdom built on the suffering of a child, it ended with a quiet act of recognition. The galaxy would later remember this day, calling the treaty that followed the Dragon Accord. And it all began here, in a dark chamber, with a single word, spoken for the very first time.